how important I feel the move was that Trump made and his decisions to put the world first, put America first again. By putting America first, you're putting lives first and liberation and freedom first. Now, one thing that Democrats cannot talk about anymore, because those people over in Iran were suffering under the regime that they're under, and they're still suffering under the regime until something happens where the people can be free and the radicalness can go away. But until then, what Trump had to do was what he had to do. And he had to do it in the name of saving lives all over the planet. But mostly the threat is our lives here in America. Many do not understand what it is to fight for this country because it's been convoluted. And over the time that I served in this country, I understood that it's been convoluted. And I've always had a problem with the administrations because I knew that the war wasn't necessary then. Bombing wasn't necessary for us to go over there and just bother innocent people. I understood that a lot of this was created. A lot of the civil wars in these countries was created, man-made. I understood that a lot of things, even though I was under those commanders-in-chief, what they're saying about Trump now, if they didn't say it about the other presidents back then when they sent us to unnecessary wars, then they don't have nothing to say about Trump, because Trump tries to prevent wars. And what he did prevented a whole lot of wars. And what he is doing is putting all the stops to a lot of civil unrest in a lot of countries. And hey, Belina, welcome. Please like and subscribe. He's doing away with a lot of unrest in a lot of these countries. And I think that is very important because for decades and decades, I'm telling you guys, I was sick. I was upset because I don't think anyone in any country should be suffering. I live in the greatest country in America, in the world. Please forgive me. I live in the greatest country in the world. And I don't see why other people can't live in their countries as greatness as well. For me, I love traveling. I love people. And I love going out to other countries, having fun, enjoying myself. But we want to do that in a safe environment that's not with radicalness and hatefulness and war-torn. Nobody wants that, and we don't deserve that in our country either. So the next time somebody says and wants to say that Trump is deranged or that he's king or that he is some dictator, they have to look at it this way. Nobody's ever been in prison. Even the people in the detention centers are not in prison. They just want their will. And their will is to terrorize Americans. They want to stay in America to terrorize us because they were hired by the Democrats to do so. So basically, the fight for Trump is just as well within as it is outside because they're the same. It's the same thing. These people send their people over here as sleeper cells and stuff like that to attack us and overthrow our freedom because we're free. We are our government here in America, and the people that are protesting don't realize that they are the government. They can go and protest the real dictatorships, the real puppets in Africa, and all these other countries. But one thing I don't agree with is now we have finally gotten the president that our country has yearned for a long, long, long time. We finally got what we always needed. And he's doing the things that the people have asked him to do so we can have peace in here and not be compromised anymore or undermined as we are currently getting undermined in our own country here. Those people in Iran, they don't have the benefits. Those women can't get on the cell phone. Those women cannot show their faces like I'm showing my face on YouTube. They don't have those freedoms to do that in certain places. They hate us because our way of life, the way of thinking. To them, you know, you can go over there and stay and live, and you see that you're going to, compared to being in America, you're going to have some things that you cannot do. I lived in the Middle East. I loved the part of the Middle East that I lived in. This British controlled colony. And I'm telling you, I had the best time of my life. It was beautiful. The people were beautiful. And it was a little bit of freedom, but not all freedom. Because Saudi Arabia next door, they didn't have the same things. They didn't have freedom. And they still had the difference between this group and that group. Even where I was, even though we had lots of people. And they had slaves there. They had slaves. All kinds of people come there from Europe, and they would work for those people. You know, if you were a female, more it's likely you were probably mistreated. But then they also would kick you out of their country. Just as well they let you in their country, they'll kick you right out. So I don't see why the greatest country on earth cannot have rules and laws like some of the worst countries on earth. But they put their foot down, is what I'm saying. We can put our foot down too, without being called a dictatorship or anything like that, because our country is not as bad as half of these countries out here. Some of these people need to go to those countries or be picked up and right where they're protesting and dumped to another country so they can protest there and see exactly, because they wouldn't be allowed to protest there. You would probably be shot in the streets. Here, the men in detention, they have cell phones. And the only requirement for them is that the only requirement for their freedom is for them to say, I want to go home to my country. I mean, who can ask for more than that? Who can ask for more than that? That I want to go home to my country. And plus you get money, and plus you get away there back to your home. But no, the criminals don't want to take the easy route. Just like a child that has behavior issues. They want it their way, and they're going to fight for it to be their way, because someone made promises to them, because someone wants to change our demographics. They wanted to change our voting so they can have their power and their control. I'm telling you, once they have power and control, they're not going to be no different. They are going to be psycho government on wheels, because it'd be pulled out of the people's hands. It would be taken out of our hands, just like they gave us a taste of the last 4 years. Do you think they listened to American people? No, they didn't listen to us. So they had already replaced us by that time. They had all these people in there, and they were trying to cater towards these people that did not belong in our country. And this is what they did to us, and we do not want to endure any more of that. We want to be able to be wealthy. We want to be able to find ourselves in our careers and what we want to do in our lives, or have a livelihood. We don't want to be, restricted in a way where you are hindered from being who you're supposed to be and experience what you're supposed to be experiencing in life. Living life. Living life, you know. We're not restricted now. So these people don't understand what fighting for freedom really is. They've been misguided. That's what I'm going to say. A lot of these protesters and people with opinions that don't want war. Trump is not giving you war. Trump will nip it in the bud before it gets worse. He will nip it in the bud. And that's what we needed. We needed somebody that was going to come in here and not do unnecessary things. Because I served during the unnecessary things, the unnecessary war. I joined to be a protector of my country, not an instigator, not somebody that goes out and harms innocent people, or because somebody said something like Libya. Y'all know how I feel about Libya. I am very, very upset about that, and I don't think I will ever get over that. So until Hillary is 10 feet under the prison, in a dungeon, put Hillary in a dungeon. So what else did I want to say to you guys? Oh, right. Literature. I just want to promote literary writing. You don't realize how much it can relieve stress. Like especially when I'm on the video, especially when we're going through turmoil, such as American turmoil that we're going through now. It's in our history, many people wrote during these times of trials, and they wrote great writings. And I just want to promote that. If you're a writer out there, write. And I'm doing the same. I'm writing various different stories and my experiences, and I think it helps. I think it helps us a lot when you can put in writing your thoughts instead of living, day by day and stressing and being upset. Or you write the greatest writing you can write at this time, and then publish it. So with that said,
Put your hair back.
always remember true love, real peace, and the higher self within the soul. Thank you, Tan. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Bulimia. Till next time. Peace.